Hey guys, welcome to another video. So as you might be able to tell, I'm in a new location. I recently moved back to Orange County for school. So I'm going to be going to school in person a couple days a week. So I had to move back down here for that. If any of you guys are in the OC area, hit me up so we can hang out. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over the Hyaluron pen, which is a needleless lip filler device. I'm going to be going over how to fill the pen, so how to load it with the filler and ampule, and how to properly map out the lips and where to place the filler. And then I'm also going to go over how to determine which pressure to use, and some of you might not be familiar with that, but don't worry, I'm going to go over it. So I am a certified Hyaluron pen technician. I highly recommend not to do this on yourself unless you are certified. It just ensures that you know what you're doing and you're using the proper filler that you should be using, the proper pressure, because all of these aspects are really important to be doing the Hyaluron pen technique. This is your face that you're talking about, so you really don't want to mess around with this unless you know what you're doing. You guys are located in the Orange County area. I am specifically in Fullerton, and I do have a beauty page on Instagram that you guys can look at and schedule through there. Alright, so I'm going to get started with showing you guys. So these are called the ampules. I don't have a client. Well, if I did have a client, I wouldn't take it out right now anyways without gloves or anything, but I'm not going to be actually like injecting the filler right now, so I'm just gonna briefly show you guys. These are what the ampules look like, and then the actual pen itself looks just like this. And I do sanitize my pen and wear gloves, so but right now, just for the purpose of this video, I'm just gonna show you without gloves. But I do sanitize this. So here is the pen. So it's not actually a pen, but it's just what it's called because it's a device. So when you want to load the device, the first thing you're gonna do is untwist this the whole way up. So this just screws and twists up. You want to twist it until you can't twist it anymore. So it's going to be like this, totally extended. And then if you were going to be using one of these ampules, you would just take it out, and each ampule has a little plug at the bottom right there. And I'll make another video on how to put the filler in when I'm actually going to be using it, or maybe I'll just put like water or something in it. But basically you're just going to unplug the ampule, and you're gonna put the ampule in this little hole right here, and then it literally just screws on. So it's really simple, just screws right into there, and you want to make sure that it's tight and secure so it's not like loose, because the ampule is gonna be what's pressing against the lip. So now I'm gonna go over pressure, and I know this is something that a lot of people don't really get, because you'll hear people say on videos like 0.02 or 0.03, and it gets kind of confusing. So these lines on the pen are going to determine your pressure. So for example, the more times I twist this down, I just twisted it 3 times, that's going to be more pressure than just twisting it down 1 time, obviously. So I usually, when you think of 0.02, 0.03, that's how many lines you're moving it down. So 0.02, it's kind of hard to see. You'd be moving it down 2 lines. So 1, 2. And they're really tiny lines, so you're barely moving it down. And then if we're going to use 0.03, then you'd move it down 1, 2, 3 lines. And so that's a change in pressure because you're twisting it down more. So basically what the pressure does I mean, it obviously shoots more pressure into the lip. So it's going to really ensure that the filler is getting into the lip, but you don't want to use too much pressure or else you could hit a blood vessel in there, and it's just not really safe to use a whole bunch of pressure. So I would definitely not go over 3 lines down. And then when I get into the mapping, I'll explain when you want to use 0.02 and when you want to use 0.03. Okay, so this is the new mapping technique that I have been trying out on my clients. So this is a really rough outline of a lip, but so here's the top lip and here's the bottom lip. So all these little circles that I drew is basically where you're going to inject the filler. So you're gonna do one here, 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 basically every circle. And with these ones on the top, they are just right on the outline of the lip, and that's gonna help shape them. And then these ones kind of in the middle of the lip, you don't wanna go too on the inside of the lip, but just right below these ones. You're gonna do less of them, and that's just gonna give them more volume and have them like protrude outwards. So I like to do the outline first, and then I'll go back in and do these ones on the inside. And then I'll basically do the same thing for the bottom lip. I'll outline them. And then once I like the shape of them and how it's looking, then I'll go back in and do the middle fullness part. And I really like doing this technique and even getting like a marker to put little dots on my clients' lips, because it shows exactly where to put them and you're not just guessing on where to put it. And another thing is you don't necessarily need to put the same exact amount that I put. Some clients' lips are a lot closer together, so you might only fit 3 or 4 on each side, or maybe they have a wider mouth, so their lips go out wider on each side. So you'd put more. Another thing I'll point out is, so number 1, like I said, don't ever put it like almost on the inside of the lip or too close to the midsection. And also, I never put it right here in the middle. So like where your cupid's bow is, I never do it right there. You just want to focus it on like the outside areas. And the bottom lip is okay to do in the middle, just not the top lip. So now I'm gonna go over the pressure like we talked about. Okay, so right here in the middle, these middle ones, I will do 0.03. So that's when you would twist it down 3 times. And then I'll do it in the middle of these ones as well. So basically I use the highest pressure in the middle, in the midst of the lip. And then these ones, as you keep going down, or towards like that outside, then I will just twist it down 2 times and I'll do the 0.02. So you're kind of doing more to less pressure. 0.02, like that. And then these outside ones, I will just twist it down 1 line. So that would be the least amount of pressure. So it goes from 3 to 2 to 1. And you never want to go over 0.03 because that's just too much pressure for the lip. And then these ones on the inside, I only do 0.02 because it's more on the like fleshy part of your lip and closer to the middle. So I feel like 0.02 is kind of like a good pressure to use in that area. So I'll do 0.02, that. And also, if you feel like your client is retaining the filler pretty well just by doing the 0.02, you can always just work with that pressure. If your client starts to bleed a lot using the 0.03, maybe you just don't do the 0.03 and do the 0.02, because that just might be too much for their lips to handle. But just kind of use your own judgment to see what's most safe, because you don't want to use too much pressure, but you need to use enough pressure so that the filler will actually go inside of the lip. So here's the diagram. Basically, you just want to concentrate the most pressure in the center of the lips and then less as you get out, because you don't want more filler on the outside and less in the middle, or else your lips are going to be like flip-flopped. So that's my new technique that I've been using, and hopefully it works out with you guys as well. Hopefully in my next video I can actually show you guys how to put the filler inside of the ampule, and then putting the ampule, screwing it into the pen, and I'll show you what types of fillers that I like to use. Don't forget that I do have a beauty page on Instagram. I'll put it somewhere down here so you guys can see it. So you can check out my work, and if you're interested in booking with me at all, you can always shoot me a DM on there. And I hope you guys like this video, and I'll see you in my next one.